Hey guys, it is Tom from iWIN Contests, and I am here with Harriet, and we are filming Facebook Live very late tonight for you guys on the East Coast, and I'm hoping that that this will work and you guys can kind of start seeing it and commenting. So we're going to try this. I know a lot of you guys are going to watch it on replay. There we go. So now it's clicking in, and you can see that now we're live, and that little number will show us the different people watching, and they'll be commenting. So thanks for joining me so late. I totally forgot that we are on the West Coast and not the East Coast. So I've been telling people 9 o'clock. So thanks for tuning in so late, and hopefully you guys will watch us. But Harriet, thanks for joining me first off.
My pleasure.
Harriet is officially my oldest subscriber. So she's a member of iWIN. She's one from iWIN. And why don't you tell them how old you are and how long you've been doing this?
I'm 92, and I have been sweeping for 73 years. And off and on, and I don't always give it everything I've got, but I kind of went away from it when everything became text on the computer. I had a computer, but I didn't have an iPhone. And I decided I had to get with it. And I bought an iPhone, and I am just now getting used to it.
Yes, we were just practicing with the iPhone and trying to understand apps just a few minutes ago. So this is when I talk about how staying up with technology and technology kind of changing the landscape of how we enter sweepstakes. So we're seeing your comments. Yes, Harriet is a legend. So 73 years. I think most of those were iWIN contests, you will remember, right?
With iWIN?
Yes.
For 73 years?
Yes.
Not quite. Not quite.
A little bit shorter time.
That's
right.
But
so how did you start entering sweepstakes, or why did you start doing this?
Well, actually, I was married at 17. When I was 19, I had a son. And I was home, and I watched the newspaper, or read the newspaper, and Dr. George W. Crane wrote an article and said that he supported himself and his wife the first year they were married. He wrote entries, and his wife decorated the envelopes, and it made me want something. I always wanted more than I could afford. And so I started, and that was kind of fun. And my very latest prize is this toy, what is it, a pony?
Yeah.
And tonight that I won in the pick a prize.
Yeah. So for those...
That's for a great grandson, of course.
Awesome. Yeah. So those who don't know, we are in San Diego. We are here for the national convention. It's going on every year. There's a big national sweepstakes convention. You can meet people like myself, people like Harriet. We kind of gather, talk, share stories, share wins. So there's about 500, 550 sweepers, or people who enter sweepstakes, and a lot of them have stories just like I share. So and Harriet was kind enough to spend this time. So you won the horse tonight. Tonight was our pick a prize, and there were random stuff. There were grills, there were skis, there were gift cards, Disney tickets, you name it, and basically every person, every attendee got so many tickets to go around and drop them in the little bins, and they drew winners, and Harriet ended up with this.
It's surprising that I won it, because I only put one entry in. I really wanted jackets because they would be easier to pack.
Yes.
I'm already trying to figure out how I'm going to get this home in the airplane.
Well, this isn't the only thing. She actually has, the...
And apparently it Winnie's or something.
This is Roundup from Toy Story. So she won Roundup from Toy Story. She won this, and now she has the challenge of getting those on the airplane here in a couple days. And that's always the challenge of one of these conventions. And the pick a prize a lot of times are bigger prizes, so that people can decide: do I want to enter for it? Do I not? Do I want to try and get this grill home? But it's fun.
Yes, you know, we met at the mini convention
Yes.
in Michigan. And at that time, I did not have a cell phone, and people were texting, and I wanted to get back into it because I had been relaxing a little bit. And so I announced to the world that I was going to buy an iPhone and become expert at it by the time of this convention.
You did, and
Well, I bought the cell phone, but I'm far from expert on it, but I'm not too old to learn.
you know, and I saw you were doing some texting.
That's right.
So have you won anything by texting yet?
Yes, you told us about that Novamex contest where we had to send numbers. We could do it twice a day, send numbers. And you happened to mention that we could buy the drink at Walmart for 74 cents. So I went to Walmart and I bought a dozen bottles. Most of it was sparkling water, and 3 bottles was orange.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like the sparkling water at all, but the orange was delicious. And almost right away, I won $100. They were giving 10 trips and 500 prizes of $100 each.
Correct.
Almost right away, I won $100, but you could win more than once. And after a while, I won the second one. Now, there's very few people that won 2, but then I continued and I won 3.
Yes.
But you know, it's interesting. The first 2 I won at 5 minutes to midnight at night. And the third one I won at 5 minutes to 3 in the afternoon. And somehow I felt like they were trying to cause a winner before the time was up. But I was thrilled. I got 3 $100 prizes, and I was very excited about that. And then your phone rang, of course, so life goes on, doesn't it?
That was your niece checking on you. So she's waiting in our make-believe green room for you. So I was letting you know that you are safe and accounted for.
And then I won a year's supply of dog food. Now, the problem is I don't have a dog.
So you're getting a dog?
No, but they asked did I have a dog or did I have a cat? Did I have both? Did I have none? Mm-hmm. And I do not lie on contests. Mm-hmm. And I said I don't, but I have lots of grand puppies and great grand puppies, and so that's what I'm working on now, trying to decide who's going to get the dog food. Right.
So the one you were referring to is actually Jarritos. It's the Mexican soda one, and there were 500 winners of $100. There were 10 winners of trips. iWIN had a couple people win the trips. We've had numerous people win the $100. I, just like Harriet, went and bought some of the soda. I did not win. Harriet actually was kind enough, after she continued to win, to send me codes to say, Tom, enter, keep entering, you're going to win. I still didn't win, but she won 3 times, which was awesome. So she got $300. Have you got the money yet?
I got all 3 checks.
Oh, you got all 3 checks already?
They're all gone.
Cashed, spent.
Most cashed and spent.
So what was your first thing that you ever remember winning? Like I always talk like I really won a big bunny, but my big prize, I was like 5, 6 years old, and I won this Atari game system. Do you remember what you won first?
Probably one of the very first things was that I won a mink stole, and I had to write in it that why didn't I like Coca-Cola? And I said, I like Coca-Cola because it was just as satisfying with the sandwich for lunch, with lobster tail at the wagon wheel, or with potato chips for a late evening snack. That was one of the winning secrets, 3 in 1, you know. And so I won a lot of prizes doing that. And so it's been a wonderful hobby for me. I was raising 2 sons alone, And so that helped me get through those tough years. But I had 2 other husbands since then. My last one was 106.
106. That is
And he used
fantastic.
to write my 3x5s for me.
You
But he
put him to
went
work
with me.
entering for you.
Well, he didn't send it in, he didn't find them, but I would give him a pattern,
Uh-huh.
and he would fill it out for me. And I still run across some of those 3x5s, and I use him and I think about him every time.
That is fantastic. And you know, the one thing that you bring up that I think a lot of the viewers probably don't realize is, so when Harriet started entering back years ago, sweepstakes weren't as we know them now, where you just fill out a form and everything. They were more all skill based. You know, like you guys always hear me preach about skill based. That's how you entered years ago, was contests. Some of you may have seen the prize winner of Defiance, Ohio, or read the book. That's how she hoped to provide for her family, was by these contests. And so Harriet's saying that she, you know, had this little essay type, you know, answer, and that's how they chose the winners. So what is your favorite win that you've had of all time?
Well, I won a car, a Ford Explorer.
Okay.
It's worth $32,600.
And when did you win that?
That was in 2000.
Okay.
And nothing will take the thrill of that away, because it was wonderful. But you know, those cars are real big and bulky, and so I had to, or I didn't have to, I turned it in for a luxury car.
A different car.
A different car, and it was fun to win, and it gave me a lot of courage to enter a lot of things, and gave me a lot of, you know, people looked up to me, and I wrote a book, as you probably know, called The Winning Road. I do not have any more.
Can people buy your book still? Is
Not
it online
any.
anywhere? Or?
No, not anymore. You know, it's really tough to have a company selling books, because the government wants you to fill out all these forms and everything, and I just didn't want to do it. So when my books, and I had a kit that went with it, when I had used them all up, I just quit. I quit selling them. But I have enjoyed sweepstakes so much. I had a club. In fact, we still meet monthly, and I graduated high school in 1945. We have met every month since. And at one stage of that period, I had them enter contests with me. I would bring about 6 contests with me every month, and they'd fill out just one entry of those. And so we mailed them in, and several of them won prizes, sometimes in the same contest. One time 4 won $450, supposed to be a week at a soccer camp or something like that. So we had a lot of fun.
So, and you say you guys still meet, and I know you've told me in the past they still meet at your house, and I think you still cook for them.
I have my family every Sunday night for supper. I have about 10 people that come every Sunday night.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday, and then once a month I have the Rockford Sweepers. That's my sweepstakes club. They come to my house on the first Saturday of the month. So we're having to switch because of this convention this month, but we'll meet next month, and we'll have a lot to share with them.
So you mentioned how technology has changed.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I resisted this cell phone, iPhone, and it's tough. It's not real easy, but I know how to text, and you have been a big help.
Thank you. But you've understood the computer, because I get your emails quite often.
Oh, right.
Asking questions and different things. So you're computer savvy. When did you realize, hey, I can't just mail in everything. I actually have to go online and
I
enter
couldn't afford the stamps. In my heyday, I spent a lot of money in stamps. But one of the last big prizes I won was when I was able to take my husband at the time and my son and his wife to the Palm Beach, Florida area, where we had double stuffed Oreo cookies where we had to lick the frosting off, and that was fun.
Yes.
They flew us, and the Eli Manning and his brother and the Williams sisters were there, and they played golf with us, or football, I should say.
Didn't you have to compete on licking the Oreos a certain speed or
Yes,
something?
there were 2 teams of us. There were like 10 winners, so there were 2 teams that they just randomly chose which team would be on. And if we won, and we practiced.
I was going to say, I think you remembered you telling me that.
Yes, on Thanksgiving, I gave the kids Oreo cookies to practice licking. But the man that was on our team, and I think it was the Manning brothers, anyway, he got that frosting off so quick, we each got an extra $2,000 besides our trip. And they had given us $1,000 for expenses then, and then because we won this contest, so to speak, we got an extra $2,000.
I mean, that's such a great story.
You never know what's going to happen in
No, I mean, who would think that the speed of how quick you can lick the frosting off an Oreo get you a trip to meet Eli and Peyton Manning?
That's right.
Because not only are they Super Bowl MVP quarterbacks, but they're good at licking Oreos, and they win you an extra $2,000 for you and everyone on your team.
That's right.
I mean, it's just a great story.
Yeah.
So you've won some trips, obviously. Do you remember how many trips, or any idea?
Oh gosh, I remember going out to Monterey, California, to some car races that we went. We went somewhere out east. I think it was Baltimore, and we rode in these carriages that horses were pulling. One trip to Florida, we did one trip to Florida, but also to Hawaii, and then a cruise to California down into Mexico. So I was thrilled to win the 4 C's, you know. One was 10,000 cash, and I won the car, and I won a cruise, and I won a computer. Not the one I have now. It was long gone, but it's a thrill to win the 4 C's.
So what is your plan as far as what do you still want to win? Is there something now that when you see a sweepstakes come up that you're like, I would really like to win that?
I want to win to share with my boys.
To share with
I have
your
2
kids.
sons, 6 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandchildren. And I love to win for them. And so I want them to remember that I won. And I'll tell you, it has changed my life completely. Because my first husband was ill and was in a mental hospital for 7 years while my children were growing up. And if I didn't have sweepstakes to look forward to, and that's what I say now, that's why I'm getting back into it. It's worth the struggle to learn this iPhone, but I needed something in my life to look forward to. And with sweepstaking, it's every day, because you get on your computer and you see what's going on. And you know, with iWIN sweepstakes, I go to his site and you go to Tom's Picks, all of a sudden there's new sweepstakes that I didn't know about the day before. And there they are. And it's such a thrill to be able to enter. And I also have one other sweeps newsletter. But Tom's is special because it is not as big.
No.
Not as heavily, or not that many people as the other one. And so, you know, it's more of a family type system.
It is, and I hear that often, and I really, really appreciate it. It's funny because I have a bigger social media presence than a lot of other sweepstakes sites or newsletters because I do these fancy videos and the webinars. But I always say we are 1/10 of the size of everyone else. And I'm friends with most of the sweepstakes site owners, and my goal is never to be them. You know, I don't want to compete with them. I don't want to be as big as them. I like iWIN. I want to keep iWIN small. I want to keep the information valuable for the members. As it gets, you know, it gets more popular, but you know, it's fortunately, at least for now, it's still small and the information's still valuable. And it's great to hear you say things like that you appreciate it and you're enjoying it, you're winning from it.
As old as I am, my first husband was 8 years older. My second was 15 years older. My third was 19 years older.
So
and he died, and then I got a 97-year-old boyfriend.
Now you have a 97?
No. Then I had him for a couple of years, and he died.
Oh, okay.
I said, unless somebody is an expert and in their 90s can sit with me and show me how to do that iPhone, leave me alone.
So if you're in your 90s and you happen to be watching this and you're single, you know, and you know, you have to know the iPhone. That's a deal breaker.
It would help if they could mow grass and shovel snow.
Okay, you mow grass, shovel snow, and learn the iPhone. So if you have those qualities, just send me an email. I'll set you up with. I mean,
there you go.
Now we're iWinContest.com's matchmaker service. So we will. We're always trying to do different things and be different. So I'm glad.
You're glad to help.
I can't make promises. I'll try and teach you how to text, but now your requirements and your requests are getting a lot more difficult for me. I totally lost my train of thought, which is hilarious.
Well, you know, another thing about Tom is that he's like the boy next door. I mean, you're not real official. You know, you don't come on as real official.
No, I don't wear shirt and tie.
Error, we just forget it. I was an executive secretary. I recognize things like
Great.
that. Yeah.
So you read my newsletters and not
every bit.
That's
I love
funny.
it. I love it.
No, that's.
I can hardly wait for Thursdays.
No, that
really. I mean, you do a wonderful job, and I just thoroughly enjoy it.
I really enjoy it, and I appreciate you being here. Let's see if we have. You guys have a couple questions for Harriet. I have to admit, for as late as it is, the viewership is really good that you guys are tuning in. So this made my night. So I'm really glad. So, you know, if you have some comments and questions for Harriet, you know, please, let's give a couple questions. We'll take questions for a couple minutes, and then we will go on from there. Let's see. Yeah, so go ahead and fire these away. Yes, the 4 C's. So the 4 C's, for anyone who doesn't know that, that's a cruise, a computer, a car, and cash. And that's how every sweeper kind of evaluates their wins, is you try and win all 4 of those.
Right.
What state is she from? Which you are from? I'll let you answer.
Illinois.
Illinois. So, have you lived in Illinois all your life?
All my life, born and raised, Rockford, Illinois.
Are you a Bears fan?
Well, my kids, I pay attention what they do. One of them likes the Steelers and Green Bay Packers. That's the 2 of them, and then the Pirates and the Cubs.
Somebody wants to come to Rockford for a meeting. They live in Chicago.
How old is he?
No, it was a female.
Oh.
Alona, she might let you bring, but now you're going to have to bring a 90-year-old friend.
I'm not looking for anybody. I'm really not looking for anybody. But it would
That's
be
what everyone
nice
says.
to have somebody that could teach me the iPhone.
So you got to teach her the iPhone. I'm guessing, do you handwrite? Do you still handwrite your 3x5s yourself?
Usually, but not as much.
Okay.
I have an easy chair, but you know I fall asleep when I'm doing those. TV is on and I'm sitting there trying to write, but I fall asleep. And sometimes I'm wake up about 3 in the morning, and
You got those cards in your hand?
that's exactly right.
See, I don't write my own, and which is why I assume this person asked. And the reason I don't write my own, it's not because I'm too lazy to do it. My handwriting is horrible. And so I actually have a girl who handwrites them. She does that. She actually comes to the convention, and she will handwrite 3x5s, and you hire her to do this. Now, I don't do a lot of mail-ins. So, like, if I have her do 200 for me, it's going to last me a good year or so. I'm like Harriet. Stamps are expensive. I don't mail a whole lot in, which those who have watched me for years know that.
There were times when I won the car and everything, I was sending 30, 40 entries a day.
Uh-huh. So this is Monique. Monique actually rode the elevator upstairs with us, and we were talking, and she was comparing, now we still can't guess. Someone's going to know it right away. Who is the older lady from Golden Girls, the mom? And she's like, you look just like her, and we're getting ready to film this. So,
Yeah.
and we're still thinking about this. So, Monique, I don't know that one. Yeah, so she does write her own mail-ins. Let's see what else we got. Oh, what was the name of your book again? A lot of people have asked
The
that.
Winning Road.
The Winning Road. So maybe find it on eBay or something. We're going to find a copy of this book.
Well, I have one with me, but my niece has it. I was going to bring it, but we got separated at the party.
We did. We lost her niece. 600 sweepers all leaving the building at the same time, and I have Harriet, and we lost her, and so that's why the phone call in the middle to let her know where she was
I
at.
had a book that I wrote with my jolly stenographers, the ones I've met with 73 years, called The Jolly Stenographers Contests, Investments, Recipes, and More. And I had an extra one of those, and I was going to give it to you so you could give it away. So I'll give it to you later.
Okay.
In the
So how many
convention.
books have you wrote?
Well, those were the actual books, but other people helped me with that one. This Winning Road was my own,
But your own
my own
work.
baby. And the value of that one, I believe, was the value of contests other than the prizes you win. Because I believe that it gave me confidence to be able to be, to serve my church. I do a lot of church work. I did at work, I was an executive secretary, but I also did a lot of classes, and gave me confidence in doing that. And it gives you time management skills, and you can, it's management so that you can, I have my club, my thing, and to know how to put on a meeting and that type of thing. So
Interesting.
it's a lot of things other than the prizes that you win, believe me.
Somebody asked if skill contests are the only thing you enter, which no, when she first started, that's pretty much how you entered. You didn't just fill out a form; they didn't exist. They were all skill based. So if you ever watched the movie, is it The Lady from Defiance?
Oh,
It's The Lady from Defiance, Ohio, or Winning from Defiance, Ohio.
Yeah.
There's a movie and there's a book, and she it's not about Harriet. It's about a lady who lived in Ohio who provided for her family through sweeping or contesting, as it was more called back then.
but you have to look around now. I was at a jewelry store getting my a new battery in a watch just this week, and I noticed they said there was this contest to win a charm bracelet. I didn't even told you about it.
Uh-oh.
But anyway, Rembrandt charms or something. Well, I picked up this little brochure, and it told all about the charms. And because they have a contest now, tell your story by using the charms. And I had that brochure with me in my purse, and I'm going to read it and take notes while I'm here. And when I get home, I'll finalize
Your entry.
this entry and maybe win a charm bracelet.
That would be an awesome story. Um, Sophia was the lady from the Golden Girls. So Sophia.
Oh yeah, okay.
We could not think of it, and we had been talking about it.
Yeah.
How many national conventions have you been to?
Oh, about 20.
About 20. This is the 31st convention, I believe. The 31st national.
The first one I went to was in Chicago, put on by the Dream Team or whatever. And then I missed one a couple years ago because I had a mini stroke.
Mm-hmm.
But I had that at night, but I was too busy to have a stroke. So I decided to go to bed. Now this is not good advice.
We are not a medical
I got
show.
up in the morning and took a shower and called my son and said, I think I'm having a stroke.
And did you then go to the ER?
And then we went to the hospital. I was in the hospital a week, rehab a week, and then I went home. There you go.
So
that's not good advice. And if I have another one, I will pay attention.
Good. Well, Harry and I actually met. Michigan does like a mini convention. It's a one-day meeting that Al Sayward puts on. It's on the convention website. They're actually doing it again next year, and I assume you will probably be in attendance.
Oh, yes.
So it's very close to her home. I usually fly up for it. A lot of times I actually help MC it, so it's a really good event. I don't think I have the dates on for next year, but I actually just talked to the guy who runs it, and he told me he's leaving here, he's going to Vegas, and then he will be back home, and he will get me some flyers, so I'll have some more information on that. Let's see what else we got. So somebody asked, how many grandkids do you have? And then their second question was one I was going to ask
6.
also. 6 grandkids. And how many great grandkids?
7.
7 great grandkids. And so they asked, do any of your kids or grandkids have interest in sweeping, or do they enter at all?
Nope.
None of them.
No, they don't at all. I had a couple of granddaughters come over. They were going to help me.
Uh-huh.
Well, you know, I wanted somebody to sit right with me while I go through. They spend about half, 3/4 of an hour, and they have other things to do.
Uh-huh.
So I have to kind of do it myself or take a little bit of information here. In fact, I was sitting by a Rebecca, can't remember her last name now, tonight, and I said I wanted to send this picture to you because you had this contest.
Uh-huh.
And so I had the picture in my iPhone, and she helped me send it to you, but you told me you hadn't seen it yet.
Well,
it's
I
very
haven't looked
unique.
I will check it out. I haven't looked on my phone yet. If you've sent me emails today, I got up about 5 a.m. to finish iWIN, and then I was in the vendor room, and I went from there to pick a prize, and now I'm doing this, and then I'm going to try and find some dinner, and I'm actually speaking on Saturday, and so for those of you watching this, I have not wrote my talk, so if Steve's watching this, Steve is probably like, crap, we may need to replace Tom. But no, I will be ready. I'll have my PowerPoint ready. I hope to do that tonight, and I'll finish it tomorrow to be all ready for Saturday. The prize winner of Defiance,
Yes.
Defiance, Ohio. That is it. There's a book and there's a movie. I have read it. I have watched it.
And everything that she talks about in that book, I entered those things, just like she did.
Oh, somebody said that they actually won one of those bracelets. They do the contest every month.
Yes, they do. I saw that.
That is really cool.
I had read a sample. They put that on the computer, a sample that had won.
Uh-huh.
And I just read part of it the other day, so I know generally how I should plan to do it.
So, somebody asked if you get a 1099 for all your prizes. It just depends. Every sponsor is different.
When I won my car, believe me, I had to.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, whenever I get questions about taxes and whatnot, I always tell people honestly, get an accountant who understands prize winnings and sweepstakes and let them advise you.
That's exactly what I had to do.
Right, because there's a difference between like someone like myself who, more has a business versus an individual who does it as a hobby. There's certain things you can do and you can't do as far as deductions. Please talk to an accountant. Every now and then at these conventions, a lot of times they will actually bring in a legal, a legal representative, either an attorney or an accountant, who will give you advice and information, who are experts. Somebody asked, and this was a good question, your Ford Explorer that you talked about, what did you have to do to win it? How did you win it?
It was total sweepstakes.
Just filling out an entry blank.
But I feel like at the time my husband had this timeshare down in Dollywood Land, and I had been sending entries every single day. I think it ran for like 3 months, and I sent 1 to 3 entries every day. And I recall getting to the timeshare one night, and I thought, I didn't get my entries in today. And the post office was between Gatlinburg and the timeshare. And we got in the car, went back to the post office so I could get the entries in. And I swear, that's the entry I won the car. When you take that extra step, that's when you're going to win.
And that couldn't be more true. So he said I can just wing my speech. Thanks, John. I need a PowerPoint. So, yeah, I mean, going the extra step, I really preach that a lot, and iWIN is that the easier something is to do, the more and more entries it gets. And a lot of people always wonder, they're like, how in the world do you win so many trips? I actually was notified I won a trip today. Unfortunately, I am going to have to decline it, and I am just devastated to decline a trip. But it's to film a commercial, but I had to do a video. And I'll actually talk about it probably in iWIN next week. But it happens to be they're going to shoot the commercial the day the Bud Light Cruise is leaving. So I've already accepted the Bud Light Cruise. I'll be on that. So I'm going to have to turn this down. I just got notified this afternoon, but it was a video. It was something more that you had to do. I bet you it was on iWIN, and I bet you maybe 20, 50 people that are members of iWIN that I think are some of the smartest sweepers out there entered it. So I'll talk about it more in next week's issue. But the harder something is, the better.
If I could give one little piece of advice that I have learned over the years, is to use your subconscious mind. If you have a problem, if you want to enter, you want an idea to do something, give it to your subconscious mind and tell it, I want to know what to do. And go to bed and wake up in the morning, and usually you get an idea. Time management.
It's sleeping on things, thinking about them. Whenever I do like a caption contest or an essay contest, I will write it all out, and I won't just boom hit send. I'll wait. I will rewrite that thing 3 times, 4 times. I'll sleep on it. I'll go back to it a few days later. All during that time, and it really makes big differences in entries. We have a caption contest that goes on at the National Convention, and Steve, who runs it, always says, don't just jot something down and send it in. Think about it overnight. Come back to the next day, and you might actually have that. What is Defiance of Ohio? It's a movie and a book about a sweepstakes person. So, and it's the prize winner of Defiance, Ohio. Let's see if we got a couple more questions, and I will let Harriet get to bed so I can work on updating iWIN and the site and hopefully answering emails. Let's see what we got. All right, who's got one last good question? And we'll let you guys all go. Thanks again for tuning in. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support of iWIN. It's really, really cool. I come to these conventions and they just blow my mind every year. Tomorrow is kind of like iWIN Day, that everyone's wearing shirts and hats and they've made posters, and it's really cool. And I appreciate the love. I appreciate all the comments and people coming up to me. It really keeps me motivated. So So yeah, lots of thank yous coming in for Harriet. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Well, it was my pleasure.
Do you-
And I really want to give you all the credit because of your personality is what is your company. It's
try and say it's what makes
as
iWIN
it is
different.
long. You're a wonderful personality and you draw people to you.
Well, I appreciate that. Do you have advice for somebody watching out there that maybe they're just kind of getting into this hobby? I mean, you've probably done it longer than most people watching. So
I would guess so. I
Something
think
you could leave them with?
You need to have people that you can share it with. I got this club going about 25, maybe 30 years ago. You know, one time I was on PM magazine,
Mm-hmm.
and my bosses at my company let me have them come because they came out of Chicago. They came in with me to get my hair done at 6:30 in the morning. They went with me to work. They came to me because I had a meeting at noon at my company, and they came to my house at night because I had a contest then. And you get other people interested, and you have to go out of your way. I make my people that come to my club feel special. I mean, it's the holiday. I have my tables are decorated a little bit. I have food. I tell them what the menu is going to be, so if they want to bring something that will go along with it. But that's one of the highlights of my month is to have my sweepstakes club. And I try not to share what I have won during the month or anybody.
So you can share it that
so
day.
it can be that day. So it'll be a surprise.
Well, they're going to know all that you won these horses now.
That's true. And they'll know that I won that third $100 from
Oh yeah, because they didn't know
Novamix.
that. So
There
spoiler
it goes.
alert: if you're from Illinois and in the club, you've already heard that now. So thank you again for joining me. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully this was entertaining. I think it's one of the coolest, most fun Facebook Lives we've done. They're a lot better than me answering questions. And there's only so long that Roscoe can just stand here and eat treats. So you guys all have a great night. If you've sent me emails, stuff like that, I'll get to it. I'll try and get some tonight. I'll get to it tomorrow. And we'll try and get caught up going into next week. Other than that, have a great night. Thanks for tuning in. I will talk to you guys all soon.
Good night.